Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're gonna do another video here on this beautiful, hot and humid day. Oh my God, I'm just sweating like a dog right now. Just got done checking fences. We just had a ton of rain, so just making sure we didn't have any down trees and some down fences. Got cows moved up here, so don't be surprised if cows are gonna ruin this video. But I'm gonna try to get this done for you guys. We're gonna zero the RH50 on my 10.5 inch 223. This is a question that a lot of people have been asking, and it's my zeroing process. People want to know how I zero my thermals. It's very simple. Hopefully we can get this video wrapped up really quick. We don't drag it out. Unfortunately, with the iRay, we cannot record exactly what I'm doing in the menu section, okay? It does not copy that. So you're just going to see what's going on through the thermals. But I will show you guys footage of me shooting the steel over here. I actually use steel, okay? So we're gonna move over towards the target. We'll talk a little bit about that, and then we'll come back over towards the rig, and then we'll take our first shots and figure out where we gotta make adjustments. I apologize if the footage is a little dark. I'm doing everything I can to stay out of the sun because it's been beating me up. Anyways, this is the target that I use, the Targets ADAP system. You don't have to buy this to do a thermal zero, okay? There's plenty of options out there. You can use whatever type of steel you want. If you're using soft steel, this is AR500. If you're using soft steel at close range, I suggest you be extremely careful with that. Yes, it can be done, but it can be a little iffy. You know, I prefer the AR500. This TA target's really nice. It gets hit and your rounds deflect down on the ground. It literally puts a trench into the ground over here. But still, just be careful with soft steel. AR500 again here on the TA targets. So what I'm gonna do is zero everything out on the thermal, okay? The first shot I'm gonna go for is center mass. I'm gonna try to figure out where my point of impact is on the steel. About 90% of the time, guys, when I get behind these rigs and I take that first shot with that thermal, it's making contact somewhere. If it doesn't, then I'm gonna have to move the target somewhere where I have a dirt pile or a manure pile and see where my point of impact is on the pile, but that's pretty rare. I know the range masters are probably going to get a hard on right now. Hey man, what's up with your backdrop, bro? This is private property. It's really big, and there's probably 1,000 yards of these trees straight back, and nobody has any business back there. There's no trails. There's only one road going straight down towards the bottoms, and I can actually see who's coming and going. I'm the only person out here right now, so calm down, all right? So what we're gonna do is take that first shot, figure out where that point of impact is. So let's say I'm aiming right here and my point of impact is here. I'm gonna track that. So I'm gonna hold my reticle here and I'm gonna move my adjustments up. If it's off to the left or the right, I'm gonna move my elevation first, and then I'm gonna make my adjustments for that windage. Usually, I get this done within 3 or 4 shots. We'll see. All right, I got ears and I got gloves. You guys know I gotta wear my gloves. Back to the targets real quick. I know some people probably aren't comfortable with shooting steel. That's fine. There's other great options out there. People use water bottles. You can use reflective tape on a paper target. One of my favorites is using a cutting board. You can go to the dollar store and pick up like 4 or 5 of these cutting boards. They're like 12 by 12 or something like that with the measurements. I'm not sure exactly what the size is, but the first shot you take into them, it will glow hot. You will see it. But what's nice about the steel, even in the wintertime, I'm able to pick it up. And as soon as I make contact on that steel with the round, it shows. And what's crazy, it can be an hour later and I can still look at that target and see where my point of impact was. Once I paint over it, it's gone. I'm using grind hard ammunition, so it has those copper projectiles. We're not gonna shoot a ton here, all right? I'm trying to keep that round count down. So again, the rig is zeroed out. We're gonna take that first shot onto the steel. I'm also gonna record here in the thermal. There is audio on the iRay, but I'm gonna do I'm gonna use a different recorder to capture the audio. And you guys are going to see the impact through the thermal on that steel. You'll see where that first point of impact is if we make contact. I've never run an RH50 or an RL42 on the 10.5-inch 223 here. So we will see. Okay, we are geared up. About to hit record. I'm trying to check my focus here, make sure my focus is nice and crisp. Okay, we're recording. Rack around. We're going to take the first shot dead center of that steel plate. It looked low. It looked really low. It looked low. It looked really low. We're about to walk down there. Way low. I was holding here. So what I'm going to do now on my second shot, well, my adjustment first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my reticle here. Being on that tripod makes a huge difference. I'm going to hold my reticle exactly where I was holding, and then I'm going to track down. I'm going to track down to my point of impact, and then we're going to see where my second shot is. That's a big drop. So I don't know if it has anything to do with that 10.5-inch barrel, but most of the time when I take my first shot with the long barrels, it's somewhere in this general area. So what I'm going to do is track that and then figure out where my second shot will be, and then hopefully my third shot will be money. All right, guys. So what I'm doing here is going to the zero process here, and then I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down and get to the point of impact. Okay, there we go. I'm not going to touch my windage. Again, guys, I apologize if the footage is dark, but I'm not sitting in that sun. Screw that. I'm not going to touch my windage because my windage looked pretty damn good. But we need to get that elevation up to par. So here goes the second shot. And guys, that first shot, it is just glowing on the bottom of this target right now. I'm recording right now. So we're about to take our second shot. I'm going to go for the neck area, right where the neck meets that main part of the target. Still low. Windage looks good. Still low. So we need I'll tell you what, let's walk over there and show you guys again. Still low. Windage looks good. Still low. Okay, guys, as you can see, my point of impact is getting a lot closer. I was aiming right here in this neck area. Windage is over a little bit. That could have been me on the tripod. But again, I was pointing here, so it looks like we're about 4 inches a little too low. So what I'm going to do is bring my elevation down a little bit more, tracking to the point of impact, and then we're going to take that third shot. And I'm still going to aim for this neck area. If we get the bullet right here in this area, then I'm going to move up to in between these two bolts. I like to go for these headshots up here, and I like to aim in between these two bolts. You can see the bolts have been hit numerous times. But I like to get my zero dead center of these two bolts here, and then we'll double check at 100 yards. So I'm about to make my adjustment real quick. I can see that point of impact still on the steel. Calibrating. All right, now let's get my zero down here. So we're recording now, and I'm going to go for that neck area and see how well we do. Just above it to the right. I'm going to take one more shot. Okay. Okay, so we're recording now, and I'm going to go for that neck area and see how well we do. Just above it to the right. I'm going to take one more shot. Okay. Guys, I made that adjustment. I'm not messing with the windage. I'm not messing with windage, but I made my adjustments on elevation. It just needs to come up a hair. I'm going straight for in between those two bolts. I can't see them, but I got a general idea of where they're at. Let me get recording going here. Again, in the video through the thermal, you're gonna see those point of impacts. Oh, I'll take that. I'll take that. We'll send another one. And yeah, I'm liking that. Make sure this is off. Oh, I'll take that. I'll take that. We'll send another one. And yeah, I'm liking that. As you can see, I turned the target around just so we can get better lighting. Again, this was my first shot down here, second shot after adjustments, third and fourth. I was not happy with the elevation. I am fine with windage because I knew exactly where my first and second shot was. So I made that adjustment. I knew I was gonna come up about 1 inch. I said, let's go for that headshot in between the two bolts. I have a general area. I know, I shoot this target religiously, so I know where those bolts were. I took that fifth shot and came in between the two bolts, and my sixth shot was off to the right just a little bit. I'm 100% positive the movement is me on that tripod. But guys, this is what I call POP, point of pig, point of pig. It is your job to go back to 100 yards and double check that zero with any type of cartridge. I'm comfortable with the 50-yard zero with 223, but anytime with 6.5, 308, 762 by 39 or 300 blackout, I will go back to 100 yards and I'll send 2 rounds just to make sure my elevation is correct, but I will not mess with my windage. This is something that a lot of people overthink. I've been to the gun ranges, I've been to other properties where people were doing their zeros and they start at 100 yards. And I'm like, why are you guys so far back? And they're like, well, this is how I do all my zeros. And I'm like, man, you're gonna waste so much ammunition and time. Get up a little bit closer, shoot, get that thing dialed in at 50 yards and then move back to 100 yards and double check that zero. I've seen guys, man, at the range, they spend half the day trying to get their thermal zero and they get frustrated with the thermal. You're overthinking it. Start at 50 yards, move back at 100 yards and double check it. All right, guys, let's wrap this video up. I had a little distraction. I had a snake in my buggy and I had to call somebody out here to get this. I hate snakes. But I got animals working their way over here. I was gonna do a 300-yard shot. It's not happening. These cows are working their way over here and I just can't shoot. Again, guys, if you're not happy with that 50-yard zero, feel free to move back to 100 yards and double check that zero. You seen my first shot at 50 yards, how low it was. Imagine that first shot at 100 yards. We would have been looking for it all day long. So it's really good to start at 50 yards and then work your way back at 100 and double check that zero. I've done a story before on IG where I did a 50-yard zero on a 308 and we went out to 300 yards with a slight holdover. And when I say slight, I was holding the reticle right above the plate and I was making contact on that steel consistently. I love this setup. I talked about it on my live feed. I actually went live on YouTube the other night. That was really fun. We're gonna do it again. But this is probably one of my favorite rigs. OSS suppressor, 10.5-inch CMC barrel, B.A.D battle arms defense, rail, Santan receiver set, RH50, grind hard ammunition, 62 grain controlled chaos, Lehigh projectiles, and I'm just loving this setup, man. But they're not gonna let me do this video. That's the bull. He's excited right now. And we got Easy E and Elvira coming over here, the 2 donkeys. But anyways, if you guys like this video, please hit the like button, get the subs going, get the notifications going, and I will do my best to get these videos rolling. I know you guys want the review on the RH50, that's coming, but I got a lot of other stuff to talk about. We got nods, we got the DT and VSs, the new DT and VSs. We're gonna talk about that. We got a PWS MK218 and 6.5 Creedmoor. We got a PWS MK216 and 308. We got a lot to talk about. Trust me, a lot to talk about. So if you guys enjoy the content, again, please hit the like button, get the subs going, and get those notifications going, and I will see you guys soon.